Okay, I'm on Ben Hill Road right now. And one of the first things that I noticed was not only the all the woods and vegetation, I noticed that they had surveillance signs everywhere. And this goes all the way down Sampson's Road and Ben Hill. So right here was Summer's house. When I looked up that driveway, I thought to myself, well, there ain't no car going up that driveway because of the ruts. They're that bad. Any car would bottom out. So I got to thinking, I was like, well, maybe that's why I've always seen the people that went there always park at the bottom. But that gives another problem to someone took her, because unless they was in a truck, by the time that they had to spin out and maneuver up that road and then back down that road, it would be between the echo and the revving up of the engine, it'd almost be impossible. The point of this video is not to bring nothing on the neighbors. I'm not saying anybody's guilty or innocent or anything. I don't care really about the people. It's more about where's Summer. I want to see the terrain. I just want to see what it would look like. So my biggest question to y'all is, and take this into mind right here, is on the back side of Don and Candace's house, she was going to run into a neighbor no matter where she went. No matter. And we know how kids are. They remember. I mean, Summer could remember that, hey, I've got a neighbor right down behind me. I've got that neighbor right down behind me. So that don't make no sense to me. On the other side, it's all neighbors too. And it's all farmland with no woods really. So how did nobody see her? So with the surveillance signs everywhere, which I don't know if that was before or after Summer went missing, surely to God somebody caught her on camera. Now I'm getting ready to head back down to Ben Hill Road. I was on Sampson Road right there, which is a dead end. So, like I said, this is not about the people. This is trying to find out, what the searchers went through, what it truly looks like. Like I said, we look at maps, they're good, but it can't really compare. This road, you really can't go that fast on because it's so bumpy. That's the reason I cut down the sounds, because I'm bouncing all over the place. I mean, it's not a good road. So, if you couldn't really get up the driveway because it's literally too loud, how did somebody come and get Summer unless she was in the shed? Let's say that she went hopping down to the shed for some reason around 6 o'clock. That's the only plausible way that somebody could have probably took her. Like I said, this is just my opinion, because right there you're on the main road at that point. But I don't find it plausible that she walked off on the other side. Like I said, she would have ran into neighbors. And you're getting ready. As you're seeing, I'm going down the rest of Ben Hill Road right here. I mean, there's neighbors everywhere. And there's also surveillance signs everywhere. One thing that most people don't realize is on the main road before you turn on to Ben Hill Road. If you look at Candace and Don's house, it's a straight up hill that's like 50 feet, straight up and down. And by the time you got up there, you'd be out of breath. And not only that, you'd be right there at the front door. You wouldn't be on the basement side. So I don't see that very plausible. Now, when I looked at the barn, I mean, the grass is so grown up, and then people say that there's a gate there, but if they are, I couldn't see no gate from the road. It's so grown up. Now, I did get a little weirded out on this road right here as I come up on this kind of like cabin plus 2 trailers. I don't know who lives there, don't care, but this is where it really got kind of weird. And my spirit started going off, which you'll hear it in the video that I play after this is done. Don't like being up here at all. Like I said, these people have been through a lot that don't have nothing to do with the case, and I don't want to bring them through nothing. So here I'm getting ready to come up. Ben Hill Road normally goes on, But I'm like, okay, wait a minute. We've got a trailer on one side of me, a trailer up on the hill. And I'm like, is this a dead end? And then it is. But this is where the Spirit started speaking. I'll let you hear it when I get up to it. After this video ends, I'll bring back the sound and let you hear it. As you can tell, I'm backing up quick because something told me, like, you know how you get that gut feeling? It's like, get out of here. And it could have had nothing to do with summer. It could have just been part of the house or part of the history of the land. So I'm not saying that. Now, if you go beyond that, you see big old mountaintops. So the chances of finding summer is like literally a needle in a haystack if she was in this area. I'm just kind of curious of whether anybody sees anything that brings anything to their eye or so on. There's a lot of people that do what I do and do it very well. Not get shot up here. Now, as I was saying, now this is the other side of the road, and this is Sampson Loop. So you can tell a lot of difference between the terrain. So if Summer would have come to the shed across the road, she would have been in pretty much open terrain. I mean, this is easy to find because, as you can see, it's mostly farmland. And this is just literally right across the street from Don and Candace's. Next road up on the other side. But as you can tell, the big mountains in the background, I mean, so that big mountain really ain't that far from them. You know, this was for the first time that I had actually kind of lost somewhat kind of hope that she'd be found by looking at the terrain that was close to her house and just the terrain altogether. But it's definitely totally different on the other side of the road. Yes, you're seeing a little bit of woods, but then it's pasture again. I just wanted Jens to see. I've seen footage of it, but a lot of it's not really that great of footage, but I wanted clear footage for myself and to hear what the spirits have to say. And I'm not talking about through a spirit box. I'm talking about just straight up EVPs. But it's mostly farmland on the other side. So you've got Ben Hill Road, you've got a 50-foot drop off the backside of Don and Candace's house, literally. I mean, I guess you could slide down it maybe. Like I said, I could not see the trail that they show. I'm sure it's there. They probably keep it mowed, but right now it's not mowed. I get that. But I just, like I said, if she would have went off that side, all she had to do was walk straight across the road to a neighbor's house. There were many neighbors around her. No, that's not saying that she could not have made it down to that road and somebody picked her up. That's not saying that. Like I said, this ain't about the people. This is really just about showing you how vast this is, how big of an area this is. So the search team searched 6 miles every direction and could not find her. And there again, we're also pretty much on a dirt road, so you're not going to go fast. I'm still getting bounced all over the place. I mean, yeah, you could go 35-mile-an-hour down there. Pray to God nobody don't pull out in front of you. But it's a one-way street, and pretty much, like I said, you got to take your time going down it. So I'm trying to make it plausible of trying to figure out how, if somebody did take her from the house, they couldn't go up the driveway unless they had 4-wheel drive. And like I said, then they would have been detected because it would have echoed all through that place. So, and then she couldn't go off the front side because it's a 50-foot drop. But she could have went down to the shed. But like we're talking, it was only 6 o'clock at night. Why didn't she just go to a neighbor's house and say, or walk back home? I mean, it wasn't even dark. So whoever done it quick. Just something to think about. If I'm lucky while I'm sitting here speaking through this video, some spirits will come through and maybe leave us some EVPs right here. My pure focus is just, not on the people. It's like everybody's so much worried about the people. Them people ain't broke in 2 years. They're not going to break. They're not. You've heard 150,000 different stories, and none of them have led to arrest or finding Summer. So they're not going to break now. You're just going to get more full of stories and so on and so on. Sorry it took me so long to post. Like I said, I wish I could do this full time for a living, but just it's 2.5-hour drive one way and 2.5-hour drive, not counting the driving when I'm there. So yeah, there's a lot of driving to this. So I got 6 hours driving time there and back, and plus while I'm there. So there's a lot goes into this, and it's dang sure not for the money. So I just wanted to show you into the loop, guys, and hopefully somebody might see something. We'll see. Thank y'all. Make sure you hit that subscribe button.